Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live streams with your host with the absolute least. It is Rob Wilson, the YouTuber in residence here. Can you believe it? We are on episode 23 or 24. I forgot to check before we started the live stream, but either way, episode 23 or 24 of 2022 live streaming for your convenience, your education, your entertainment. If you are brand new here, what's going to happen over the next couple of hours is that we're going to invite you into our lecture hall, our learning theater, our classroom of magnificence as you get a little vulnerable. You share your pride, your most precious possession that is your YouTube channel, to allow us as educators, as wise, knowledgeable creators, allegedly, to critique, offer positive feedback, and help you grow your YouTube channel to the next step. Whatever that is, 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, monetization, turning your YouTube channel into a business. That's what we're here to provide you with for absolutely free every single week. The question I want to ask you first as we kick off this YouTube adventure for another week is, and this is my question of the week, which I try and mix up every single week, is what is the latest piece of YouTube tech that you have purchased and how is it working out for you? My latest purchase a couple of weeks ago at this point is this PreSonus Revelator microphone. I still haven't decided if it's any good. I still haven't figured out how to set it up properly, but that's how you're listening to me right now on this brand new microphone. Let us know in the chat what you have recently bought. I'm going to throw it over to our first guest, co-host, gaming extraordinaire, eyebrow raising, Dan. Yo, how's it going, Dan? Welcome. What tech have you bought?
You know, I bought this.
Hey,
yeah,
overpriced tech.
Yes,
hey.
Well, it's going on sale because they're doing away with the older model. You know how they be. They're like, we're not making anything new, and you know they are, and so they discount everything. So I don't know. I might use it for a bit and then decide if I want to keep it or not. But
is
so
this
far,
for productivity purposes or gaming purposes?
So far, it's gaming, but
right, yeah.
you know, I did buy a keyboard for it, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Was that the official keyboard?
No, gosh, that's so expensive. I'm you know, I only go to a certain point when it's with purchases. It's like, okay, I'll buy the thing, but then I want to buy like cheaper accessories.
Yeah, isn't it funny how like you'll buy the really expensive main piece of equipment, but then when you accessorize, you go basically to the dollar store and buy as much cheap stuff as you can to augment it. All right, then. Well, enjoy your iPad. Introducing next, he is the soul. That's right, the soul of vidIQ channel audit live streams. He's a vidIQ Max educator and coach. It is Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? Welcome to the live stream.
How's it going, everybody? How you doing?
Awesome.
Good to see everybody.
Is the latest piece of tech that you've purchased, and how's it working out for you?
Well, I just purchased something last night, but it hasn't arrived yet. So we'll default to the previous thing I just bought, which would be camera C. So we've got camera C in the building.
Whoa.
So we've got that there.
Whoa.
So camera C, and we've also that's in addition to camera B, which is right here.
Oh my goodness.
And camera A. So yeah, camera C. It's my third Sony camera. So we're running a multicam setup for both the streams and for the videos, adding a bit more dimension to what I'm doing here. And that actually, the multicam is what led to the purchase of an M1 Mac Mini, because I'm going to be moving my production workflow into a multicam setup as opposed to a bunch of separate B-roll and talking head. So just evolving a little bit and learning. I'm going to be learning Mac OS, learning Final Cut Pro, but really investing in the channel, investing in speeding up my workflow.
Wow. Well, welcome to the new host of all live streams going forward, Jeff, with his multicams. That was pretty incredible. All of a sudden, I want, and then once I have it, I won't understand how to use any of it and get frustrated. Let's have a look at some of the chat and see what people have been buying. Omni Tech has bought a cheap cold shoe, I think, for his Sony A7, and boom, instant regret. So yeah, buy cheap stuff.
You want to see my regret?
Yeah.
So right before the live stream, Rob was like, "Oh, I'm looking for different devices like phones that would be good for gaming." I'm like, "When you do that, you got to get this cool device. It holds your phone in place. So if you have like an Xbox controller, you just snap your phone in here." So I wanted to show him just how big it could get. They get to hold the whole tablet now because it freaking broke. It just if my camera decides to focus on this, it's completely shattered. Luckily, they're very, very, very cheap, and so I guess I got what I paid for.
That's going to leave a mark. All right, so we've got Hoops Express. You know, I'm thinking that you bought a basketball for YouTube, but you know the channel kind of does make it obvious. So you're buying props and equipment for that. That's
That's a business expense.
That's a business expense.
That's a business expense, sir.
Yeah,
you're good
make
to go.
sure you claim back on that. Somebody bought the classic Blue Yeti, discounted to $80 due to damage. Was new in box with no damage. Okay, so that's cool. You managed to get
Fluked MC. I think that's one of our vidIQ Max
cool.
students. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you.
Good, solid investment. I used the Blue Yeti on this live stream for about 2 years. It will get you through 99% of your YouTubing needs. Somebody here has taken a bit of a risk buying a microphone for $3.
Oh,
but hey, I would say any microphone is better than the onboard naffness that you get from DSLR cameras, and you know, even a mobile phone if it's a certain distance away from you.
Oh, yeah.
We've got those noobs who's bought a mouse, pretty crucial for being able to navigate anything really. What were you using before? A trackpad or a? Did anyone have one of those ball mouses? What?
Oh yeah. God. Yeah, a long time ago. That's a long time. You're dating yourself here, Rob.
Track mouse. I can't remember what it was called.
No, they were track balls. They just sat there and then you move the ball around.
And so not a ball track, as I just called it a track.
I hated those.
Oh, Windows 95. You're taking me back, sir.
Well, here's another thing. Since we're going nostalgic, can you remember when mouses had balls in them? And so you had to take out the ball and clean the contacts.
And clean the wheels?
Clean the wheels. Greasing the wheels, so to speak. Indiana Tones has bought a time machine. So welcome back to this live stream. I hope you're going to put it to good use going forward. Can you tell us what's happening? Can you tell us, does the iPhone 14 have a notch or not? That's the answer I need to know right now. And we've also got What If bought a PS5. So it sounds like some of you are buying tech. Some of you are buying nonsense. Some of you are just buying whatever you want. I don't know if that's going to help you with your YouTube journeys, but maybe we should talk a little bit more about that. That's why you're all here. There's 500 people watching right now. I want you all to say hello in the chat. If you are brand new, do let us know with a hashtag new, and the hashtag original gangsters can welcome you in. And if you are brand new to this, here's how the next couple of hours are going to operate with a 60-second introduction. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream, where we review your YouTube channels. To submit your channel for review, make sure to fill out the right form linked in the video description. Note that we clear these forms after every live stream, so make sure to resubmit the following week. Channel audits are free, so please don't send us a super chat or spam us in a chat expecting a review. If there are alternative ways to get picked for an audit, we will let you know during the live stream. If we don't get around to reviewing your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 with you. Make sure to download our tools and use the 30-day free trial using the link in the video description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators who do a phenomenal job every single week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As for all of you, well, thumbs up if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and if you know of a fellow creator who may find all of this stuff useful, please do share it with them. And with all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. Final bits of housekeeping. As always, we continue to support Creators for Peace, helping displaced children in Ukraine. If you do want to support that cause, we very much appreciate it. Do note that it will not influence whether or not we audit your channel. And as always, as our live streams continue to grow, we used to have 300 people watching, then 400. Now we have 500 people plus watching, and all of you pretty much submit for review. Unfortunately, we can't audit every single channel, but what we try to encourage here is that this isn't necessarily about auditing your channel. It is about channels picking our brains, making us think about the right things and the wrong things that channels are doing, and then sharing what we can see from a channel so that you can apply it to your channel, be it thumbnails, be it channel topic, be it consistency. Effectively, when we audit a channel, we are providing a template, a blueprint for how you can take that knowledge, that wisdom, and apply it to your own channel. And with all of that being said, I think it's time that we actually started auditing some channels. I'm going to take a verbal break and give Jeff the lead with our first channel that's submitted in the forms that you can still fill out and you can still be picked for this live stream later on. We are looking at Ferry Organ Music. First impressions, Jeff, what type of channel do you think it is? And then I'll let Dan chime in with his thoughts.
I'm going to say it's a guitar channel for 100. No, I'm just kidding. It's obviously they're doing, piano, organ. I'm assuming that's where they're going. But I was going to also say, in addition to what Rob was mentioning about people like watching this and not just waiting for their own channels, that's how I started on watching vidIQ live streams as well. I was sitting in the chat. I was listening to the advice being given, even though they weren't looking at my channel. And at some point, they actually did pick my channel. So it went pretty well. But just throwing that out there. But yeah, overall, I mean, I've seen channels similar to this. So they are sort of following the niche standard for the thumbnails, the hands on the piano itself. So I like what I'm seeing so far. But this is a highly competitive niche. There are some pretty big players in this game. So one of the things that I've seen, I could have swore, and I'm hoping I'm not getting mistaken between instruments, because this might have been a different instrument that was being played, but where I saw a channel that was really coming up quickly was because instead of playing the traditional stuff, the traditional classical, the traditional kind of things, they started doing covers. Obviously, these are covers. Yeah. They started doing covers of popular music, stuff that was hot right now, but putting their piano twist on it. So where you wouldn't expect it, like I think one of the ones that really caught my eye, and I remember grabbed my iPad and showing my wife, was they did a piano cover of the Backstreet Boys. And it was something that I was like, wow, I didn't expect to hear something like that. So it was pretty cool. So there's people doing that sort of thing, and it might be worth going that route as opposed to doing the traditional. Look at what kind of trending music there is and see what you can find.
So a couple of examples here. John Rod, I'm not going to try and pronounce that last part of the channel name, but he's doing this similar visually satisfying piano playing, but to more recent stuff, and getting some pretty decent views out of it. Yeah.
And even the guy at the top did a different style on the thumbnail. He did a side angle on it, but interesting. It was, visually he's going left where everybody's going right. So something to think about as well.
So I guess what you're saying in summary, to try and put it in its most simplest terms, there are creators out there who are TikTokifying their music channel by finding the latest trend in music.
Correct.
And whether or not it was played originally with a piano instrument, they're using their instrument of choice and talent to create an interesting take on something that, as you say already, Jeff, like this looks like it's very well presented. The thumbnails look fine. It looks like the music that they're covering is fine. It looks like they're talented. But we've seen this before, and that's a problem, isn't it? It's the same as like a Minecraft channel, a Fortnite channel. What's going to differentiate Ferry Organ Music?
Right. And that's the thing where it's about their comfort zone and what they're willing to do. The reason I even bring this up is because I had worked with a drum channel. The guy was doing drum covers, classic rock music. He's an older gentleman and was doing okay, had a couple thousand subs, but what really blew him up was when he got outside of his comfort zone and he started doing drum covers of trending rap songs, of trending K-pop, is what really opened him up to a whole new audience, because he was only catering to the people who are into classic rock, as opposed to bringing his drum style, his talent, to K-pop covers, to hip hop covers, to whatever was trending. And that is really what ended up taking his channel in a different trajectory. So it's just something that you can leverage if you can by bringing your own twist to it. But that's just a thought that I was having around this.
Dan, anything to add?
That was the first thing that jumped out at me, and I'm kind of wondering this. I'm not saying this is what would happen, but if you were to, so let's say for the next dozen or so videos, you do that, you leverage trending songs, similar style, but with your own like twist on them, and let's say those videos blow up, the channel starts to grow from that. I can't say how it will be for sure, but it feels like it's something you don't always have to do. Like once you kind of like build some credibility and some, people are starting to recognize you in the space, that's when you can maybe bring in any music you've written, or, some of these maybe classical hits, to see once again how they do. I would be interested in seeing, like, if you had like a technique or something that you wanted to share, you can use one of these classic songs, but you talk about something other. So like a lot of these like classic songs, people aren't really searching for or anything like that, but maybe you can talk about the speed at which you're playing it, or something that makes it seem a little more like a challenge, if that makes sense. Maybe not a challenge, but just those more intriguing titles and stuff, because I feel like going off the names of the songs that people aren't really searching for is going to kind of hold you back. That's also going to be part of this, is like, bring a little more to it than that could help differentiate you too. Bring a little more to it than just, I'm just going to play the song,
Yep.
Now, one final thought on this channel, and it's actually just giving me an idea. I went to watch one of their videos, and I was watching it, and it kind of just, all of a sudden, it freaked me out. Hopefully, you're going to get what I mean if I just start playing this this one. So, obviously, they're doing the classic canon in D, and then all of a sudden, a third hand appears, and that just completely freaked me out. I'm going to do a really strange reference here. Can anyone remember on Naked Gun? And again, I'm dating myself here, where Frank Drebin was having a date, and I can't remember the female lead, but she tried to slap him with one hand, tried to slap him with the other hand, and then another hand came from under the table and slapped him in the face, and it just made me think of that. But now thinking of this, maybe there's an idea here where you could almost have like an overlay of like 7 or 8 different hands being able to play an incredibly intricate version of this. And that might offer something really unique, almost funny, but it also sounds like it's really cool. Like you've seen those artists where they play those repeating beats, and then they can have it repeating with like a foot's instrument. I don't know what it's called.
It's called live looping.
There you go. Thanks. Like we can almost do like a live looping and make this not extreme to the sense where it's just completely stupid and silly, but imagine how many overlays of this piano music you could have, and that might be something really interesting to try. Or am I just in my own weird world here of multiple hands playing on the piano?
Yeah,
I think you're onto something there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that is Ferry Organ Music. Also, one final thing: when I looked at the channel name, I got confused by Ferry Organ Music. I thought, is this a channel where you play certain music on like maybe it was like the Staten Island Ferry and somebody played certain organ music on there. I just got really thrown by the Ferry, but I think it's the name of the person. Yeah, so the person is called Ferry. It's just one of those examples where a channel name can just throw you off for a second when you're auditing a channel for the first time. We move to the first gaming channel that's submitted this week. And yes, it is a Minecraft channel. It is the Building Waffle, with approaching 50 subscribers. And Dan, I look at this channel, I look at the thumbnails. This looks like a channel that's experimenting with shorts, experimenting with many different Minecraft ideas. They maybe haven't quite found their little corner of Minecraft content just yet, but they're still figuring it out.
So they have, I'm just going to ignore the shorts because I think they have the right idea. They're using simple titles, and I think the reason that the views are so high on those compared to everything else is just because they're really watchable. You get kind of stuck wanting to see what's going to happen, and that's like just the key with Minecraft shorts. You put in an object or a character in a situation, and you watch it play out, and that tends to work really well. So with your long form content, the stuff with the thumbnails on it, I'm asking myself the question, why? With just about every video, why should I watch this video? And so you have a few of these music disc videos, and I'm just like the latest one, for example, if you just scroll up, new Minecraft 119 music disc. What about it is my question. I'm guessing you're going to play the song in the video.
So is this audio from the game itself? Like a...
Yeah, there's music discs in the game, and there's little music players, and you can pop them in there.
Oh, I see. Right,
so whether you made this song and you just, you're saying, oh, there's a new music disc and I made it, or it's in the game because of the new update. Give me a little more than there's a new music disc. Like, the title doesn't tell me to watch in any way. It's just a fact. I don't need to watch the video because you gave me everything I need to know. I can assume, because a lot of people are covering the 119 update and different aspects of it. So, the biggest channels have already said, look at all the stuff they added in 119, including this, and this new music disc. It's going to be in there. So people are informed of it. So what is your opinion of this music disc? Do you like the song? Do you hate it? If you like it, then make some kind of interesting, I don't know, music video with it. If you hate the song, you can take the music disc and throw it into a lava pit or something, like what I think of the new Minecraft 119 music disc. So give people a little more than just stating a fact, and that's going to be throughout all of your videos, throughout all the titles, and in some cases the thumbnails. Like, the music just being on the thumbnail is okay, but implying that you don't like it, I would then pair that with a thumbnail of you taking the music disc and doing something with it, like mid action, give people that like intrigue, like, okay, that looks like it might be funny, and then they'll end up clicking on it.
It's a significant gap between short form content that's occasionally getting 1,000 views plus, and all of the long form content. So I think this is their best performing long form piece of content, has barely over 50 views.
Yeah.
Should the creator, with this amount of data, start to think maybe I should become a Minecraft Shorts channel, or
it depends?
Am I just like crushing somebody's dreams here a little bit?
It depends on the goals. I mean, if they enjoy making the short form content and it's doing well, and for the a channel of this size, I would say it's doing well, then yeah, I'd absolutely double down on that. There's more opportunities to make money with shorts already, and we can expect more in the future. So that's covered. You don't really have to worry too much about titles and thumbnails as much with shorts as you do with long form content. And if you're not really enjoying the strategy behind making, these really click-worthy titles and thumbnails, then that could be another reason to try it. But if you would really like to do both, or if you'd really like to get better at the long form content, then it's going to be just doing a little more research, because everything, the vagary going on here in the titles and thumbnails, like medieval village, like in this case, the text in the thumbnail is more interesting than the text in the title, building a village. Everybody in Minecraft builds a village. Like, why is your village different? What is interesting about your village? Why should I watch you, this channel I've never seen before, build a medieval village? So these titles are very matter of fact at a time where, if you look at the competition right now within the Minecraft space, it is top notch. You have people in there just really going at different challenges or funny observations. There's so much you're competing with, so you really got to be upping your game here.
That is the Building Waffle, and what you're watching right now is channel audits from myself, Dan, and Jeff. But did you know vidIQ is not just a channel audit service? We have a suite of phenomenal tools that will help you grow your channel. When Dan is taking a break on his iPad, Jeff is playing around with his multi-cameras, and I'm trying to finish Lego Star Wars. We can't be working all of the time, but our tools can work for you all of the time. And I just wanted to revisit a tool that we did a big push on last year, but at the same time, we also knew that it was going to take a little bit of time to manifest itself, to learn more about creators and the type of videos that they want to make, and it's daily ideas. We've been continuing to refine the dare I say the word, algorithms, a word I don't often use, but obviously this tool does use algorithms. And I have to say, recently, the ideas have been really improving and are absolutely fantastic for the vidIQ channel. Here's just a random example of some of the almost like titles it's suggesting to me now. Are you addicted to YouTube? 9 tips for breaking your YouTube addiction. That's like a really interesting way of looking at it from a viewer's perspective. Has it never run out of YouTube video ideas? Come up with endless content. You know, it's giving a what and a why. Tired of no YouTube views. So that's defining a target audience and then saying, these are the 3 steps that are going to follow you and get more views. So this is what the daily ideas are recommending now for vidIQ, which are fantastic. The one idea I would currently dispute, which I was seeing earlier, if I try to find it now, where was it? It was one that made me really worry about my own job. Yeah, just whatever you do, don't make a video on this. Stop following advice on how to grow YouTube. We would like for you to continue it. But it's an interesting idea because, like, it could be a sense of you're stuck in thinking about what to do. All you're doing is watching this live stream or watching other YouTube educators without actually applying any of this to your own content.
Analysis paralysis.
There you go. Thank you, Jeff. So that's how we could maybe twist that idea into a useful piece of content. But yeah, this is daily ideas and is getting super powerful. It learns every single day. And I think for your channel, it's probably worth revisiting if you have this tool and you haven't used it for a while. Or if you are brand new to vidIQ, then of course you can take advantage of our 30-day free access to all of our tools, as well as the vidIQ Academy. There's a link in the description that will automatically apply the 30-day free trial so you can use all of our tools for the first month. So do make sure to give it a visit if you haven't tried any of the paid tiers of vidIQ. But with all of that being said, let's now audit the next channel today, and that is Scrapyard Productions. We have somebody with a flamethrower. That's very striking. Are you going to be flamethrowing stuff in your scrapyard? Do the thumbnails confirm that? I'm not sure, because you have the most horrendous, and this might be even worse than red text on thumbnails. It's kind of like a blue and I don't know, blue, is that blue and pink or blue on red on the thumbnails? Whatever it is, it's one of those color combinations which makes it really difficult to read text. So my first very simple advice will be think about a different color of font when you do want to use text on your thumbnails. What about you, Jeff? Any first impressions jumping out here?
Yeah, I mean, font style, if all else fails, just use white. With a black stroke around it. I mean, I'm just being completely serious because it'll make it much more legible right now. Like right now I'm looking at the screen. I'm going to make this big on my side as well. I can barely read the fact that it's what is it? Best cheap muscle. Yeah. Best cheap muscle car money can buy. Okay. First of all, that's already too many words. You want to keep it to 3 words or less if you're going to use text at all. And then obviously like, the other one where it's it's broken, okay, cool, perfect. We're keeping that short and to the point. It's more legible, but it's dark blue on a light blue background. I would have just gone white, something that pops a little bit more. This red magenta stuff, it's just not going to do it. And then also like the other one, 4th one over, almost blew it up, 4 words. Keeping it simple, but then they've got more text on the bottom that's being covered up by the timestamp. Just get rid of that. So just kind of think of it under more simplistic terms, but I kind of like where they're going here. The channel seems like it's, it might be, I'm not sure if they're racing or if it's Destruction Derby. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I think it's Destruction Derby, but also they have I think they build them as well. Like they have a scrapyard to do this.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool though.
What I see is quite a big discrepancy in the views versus when they're at an event and recording something from the event versus when they're doing something in their own what would it be called?
Shop.
Yeah, shop. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
warehouse. So I'm wondering if there's a danger here, like if viewers enjoy watching this video and this video, but then they have this video, which I don't know, is that about the same topic? I'm not quite sure.
It looks like it's at one of those events.
Yeah,
it's kind of dipping into too many categories, right? Like you have that's like a story, right? You're telling a story about a person and they happen to be at these events, so in that sense it's like on brand for the channel. But when you consider what people gravitate to on the channel, there's no reason it should be there. That would be like a behind the scenes kind of video. I would put that on a separate channel, or I would nest it within a longer form video where you're kind of talking about the day at the event. And your title and thumbnail. Yes.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Talk about nesting, because I think that's a really interesting concept of.
It would be like a B plot.
Yes.
Right. But that's when I say like nest a story with another video, it's kind of like we talk about all the time. Mr. Beast makes use of B plots in his videos where it'll be about a giveaway that's happening where someone's going to win a whole bunch of money, but partway through the video, something goes wrong and someone has to go out and like get everybody food or something. So that person takes a camera with them. And now it keeps bouncing between the people competing and then people in the car driving to the fast food place, So like this could be you walking around these events. So yes, you get a title and a thumbnail like that with smoke and everything else, but
that's the hook. That's the hook. That's the entry point. Yeah.
Yep. And people get in the video and they get delivery right away on that promise, right? Maybe you see a car peeling out and stuff. So it's kind of teasing what's to come, but then it's you on camera right after that. And you're like, oh, today we're at this event. We're here. It's going to be awesome. And so throughout your kind of you documenting your day, then you have the story about a super nice guy that you met kind of tucked in there, so you can still have content like that, but you have to really consider what people are clicking on when they come to your channel. And they really love the thumbnails with the smoke. Like those are taking off for you.
Yeah.
Those are doing great. If you can have more cars and smoke, I think that'd be even better. And I like this concept of, well, it's broken and you have the car sitting there looking kind of helpless. But again, the thumbnail, as we already discussed, kind of messed up the execution. It's dark. Like I would have raised the exposure so you can kind of see what's broken. The text is hard to read, and it's 15 minutes and there's no promise that there's going to be that excitement that we sometimes get from your videos as well.
And to be fair to the channel, with the subscribers that they have, the view counts on all videos is generally fine. 200, 600. There are these occasional ones that break out into the thousands. And I think the reason is because this channel has a lot of unique access to things that they can either build or go to. Like how many creators can build construct a flamethrower? But my question is, why didn't this get more views? This should be something amazing and dramatic and really powerful to users. Maybe YouTube restricted it because it's, I don't know, something to do with their firearms policy. That maybe it's
right
on the wrong side of that.
It's entirely possible.
You would think that with this unique skill and talent to build and construct these things, that I guess it's very difficult to replicate this kind of content from another creator. So I think, Dan, going back to your point, the execution of the thumbnail and the title is probably what's holding this channel back a little bit from having an even bigger audience right now.
I think I want to say this is an issue, but I think what's happening is this person is a very skilled tradesperson. Yeah. They have a very defined skill set. And then somebody came to them and said, you should put this on YouTube. And some of it's doing well, some of it's not, because the video is probably secondary to their primary skill set. I'm only making very wild assumptions here. I'm not saying that is what's happening, but we've definitely seen that before with a lot of channels where they're obviously a very talented person with what they're putting out there on YouTube. But when it comes to the actual video, the title, the thumbnail, those YouTube essentials, those are missing a lot of times. So I would, that's something you just got to kind of bone up on, or maybe you can hire someone to help you out, but that's going to make a huge difference for you.
I'm just looking at other people who've built flamethrowers on YouTube. And
what I was going to say is, like, look at how either it's really zoomed in and it's clear it's a flamethrower, or you have an object or a person on the other side, right? Like you have a little more going on in the shot, like a little more depth than like a way zoomed out shot of you in this flamethrower.
I think the problem here is that the background of the warehouse is kind of just because you're wearing a dark shirt and then there's a dark background, you kind of disappear into the background.
Yes.
And then this flame is not emphasized enough, and you just don't need the text at all.
You know what would have worked really well is if you had that out and it was an open field, a big open area, and you did the thing that so many people are doing right now, where they're in the thumbnail but they're tiny and they have an arrow pointing and just says me. That's instead of the text that says we didn't die this time, it's you pointing me, but the flame is taking up so much space. It's huge. And you would go into Photoshop and maybe exaggerate that just a little bit, just to give it that extra bit of oomph. And people do it all the time. It might sound like I'm promoting like clickbaiting. In a way I am. Just you're just trying to give people perspective. You're trying to show that this is huge. Like, this is a big amount of fuel that I had to use to get this to happen. Is it going to be as big when you actually start watching the video? Maybe not. But by then you're just too entertained by the content, and you're in there already, and you're having fun, and it doesn't matter. You
just got to get them in the door.
Yeah, we've got to get a little serious for one moment, because I have some sad news. There are 640 people watching this live stream right now, and only 425 of you have liked it. And that's something that we can't live with here. This needs to be addressed. Please make sure you like this live stream and share it with other creators who may find it useful. And you'll call that emotion bait.
That was like one of those Sarah McLachlan commercials.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love the music. It was perfect.
Yeah, the pets and everything. Yeah.
Who is Sarah McLachlan?
You know the homeless animal commercials? The really sad. Do you not have those in Canada?
No.
They're terrible. It's so good that you don't have those, because they're the worst. They're so
Whenever
sad.
I watch a American channel on Canadian television, all I'm offered is medication that will kill me in several different words. Like,
it's highly accurate.
Yeah.
Spends 10 seconds telling us the benefits, and then another 10 minutes telling me how it will eventually kill me. That's all my entire experience of US commercials. Twitter, folks. We're on Twitter, and we asked you to give your best YouTube advice in 5 words. And we had some excellent suggestions here from Walter's World: edit, audio, audience, purpose, patience.
Sorry. It's so good.
Yeah, that is true.
Sarah McLachlan references in the chat. Thank you.
To be fair, 100 people have clicked it since that little ad, so thanks for doing that. Ali V. Arcane says, find a niche you enjoy. Sainted Major Gaming, title, thumbnail, description are vital. We've also got OK Fishing telling us that numbers aren't everything. Keep going. Gaming Tube, be consistent. Never, ever procrastinate. Narfield says, think about the viewer first. Spreak didn't follow the rules and put in a very long answer, and also an image.
Shout out to all the people who don't know what 5 words means.
Yeah, I think they actually did. Like, that's probably the 5 words, but then they just carried on the tweet, and I kind of zoned out. But since we've talked about it for long enough now, everyone's had a chance to read the tweet. And look at this one for you here, Jeff. Subscribe to vidIQ Max Plan. That's how you do it. But the winner, because I did offer a free channel audit to the best one, was Darksmith, who also kind of cheated a little bit, but he did it in a very inventive way. For new creators, everybody has to start somewhere. And, you know, we've been talking, actually, Dan and I were talking to somebody this morning about how too many creators overthink. And sometimes they just need to keep it simple and start. But then with people with experience, they're going a little deeper and saying that, you know, impressions, basically how often YouTube advertises your content, is governed by thumbnails, and views are governed by, and then what impacts better thumbnails is more views. And then you got to think about audience retention, and then all that feedback into impressions. Now, again, they've cheated because they've basically turned audience retention into one word. But I've decided to accept all of that and audit this channel. It is Darksmith. They are a gaming channel, Dan. And they look a little bit like this, approaching 9,000 subscribers. But it looks like they may have some challenges with their view counts.
Some. I mean, Arc 2 coming to mobile is something I had not heard. And the thumbnail is definitely striking. It's interesting and gotten a lot of clicks. 2 weeks, 5,000 views. We're approaching 9,000 subscribers. So this is a pretty healthy ratio right there. Let's see. I interviewed a hack developer for Arc Mobile. So it's kind of, I've seen that thumbnail template before of like the hooded figure in front of a laptop. So it's kind of an interesting way to do it. And then you've used that a couple times, it seems, too. So, okay. So what is the channel about Arc, or is it about hacking? Because now I'm seeing 3 videos about hacking.
Several, yeah.
There's a lot of very heavy interest in hacking, but what this particular game, and now I'm thinking, is it too niche? Are we, you could talk about hacking in the gaming space as a whole, and that'd be a niche. And you could talk about Arc, and that would be a niche. You've kind of like combined those two things. So yeah, here we go. So when we look at just Arc Mobile tips, things like that, 20,000 views. Like how to Arc Mobile, 10 tips and tricks for advanced, doesn't matter. They're clicking on it, 20,000 views. New map, new update, new content. Arc Mobile, is Arc Mobile dying? 55,000 views. So you're getting, you know, really, really good data from things that are working a ton and things that are not working as much. And I would say now seeing these videos compared to the hacking ones,
Well, here's the
it's
thing.
not going as well.
I think these videos are probably actually of high value and content, but
It's
my assumption is that viewers, when they hear the word interview, it kind of like is an immediate shut off.
Yes.
I think what they probably want to more hear is something along the lines of this is how broken Arc is.
Or this hacker broke Arc Mobile, you know.
Yeah. And then something extreme, like you were able to get 1 billion hit points, or like you can kill anything in one.
Yes.
Something exciting and interesting about the game, not so the focus isn't on the hacker, it's on what's been exploited in the game. So I'm almost suggesting here, and Ed's talking about this, like just redoing the thumbnail and the title on this, because it's probably that the content is good, but the pitch is it's just backwards or not relevant to the viewer.
Yeah. So I know that's a 2-hour video as well.
True. Yeah, the length could be a thing. Yeah.
We're kind of picking on it a little bit, but you can get a lot of clips from that live stream. So what you do is, and if you maybe that's why there's a few hacking videos. You've already been doing this. Keep chopping it up. Find little interesting bits that are a few minutes long, and then
sorry to interrupt, Dan, but he kind of did it here. This new Arc Mobile hack is game breaking.
There, okay,
so
perfect.
That was the pitch to the gamer, and you know that didn't do too bad. 10,000 views.
Yes.
But then interviewing this hacker, that's where the pitch feels just not aligned with the audience.
Right. Remember that your audience is very interested in Arc Mobile, so it's not so much about the hacker; it's what they did to their favorite game. So keep focusing on that. I would say even the 10,000 view video, the thumbnail isn't great because it's only the logo of Arc. I would have gone in there and made the game look different. I would have done something like you said with the hit points. I would just imagined the hit point number trailing off the screen in the thumbnail, right? Like I got 1 million hit points. So try to help people visualize, oh, that's Arc Mobile, and something different is happening in the thumbnail. And it's because it's a hacker, you can really get away with a lot of different stuff. You can really play with those thumbnails, but just having the person in front of the screen and it's saying hacker and the Arc logo, it's just not intriguing enough, especially for an audience that's used to thumbnails and titles like these where it's very Arc focused.
So just going to the most popular stuff, it's clear that you have strength in education and the value of finding and discovering things in this game. Is it fair to say, Dan, that if this is true, that Arc 2 is coming to mobile, and given the view can't say God on this video, they should be probably putting a lot of focus into that going forward, since that's what their audience is most interested in?
If that's a thing that's happening, I would be planning my next 10, 20 videos about things I want to see in Arc, predictions. Yeah. If they've given you any media at all, dig through it, do picture, screenshot breakdowns, do trailer breakdowns, really start getting in there. I'm not saying every video has to be that. It's just as that is going to be the most interesting thing to the audience, you need to be all about it. You need to be the go-to source for anything and everything Arc Mobile, Arc 2 mobile.
Some sad news, folks. We have 630 people watching and 550. No, sorry, I won't do that. Let's audit the next channel, and it is AIA. This is another gaming channel, and
it's a game development channel. I picked it. I know we don't normally do gaming channels in the pre-selections, but it was a game development channel.
Sure. Okay.
So I thought it'd be okay because I picked this one specifically because I was struggling to give it advice, because we've seen a handful of game development channels lately. And this channel is doing so good, especially their latest 2 uploads. Yeah. I'm like, I need to show if you are a game developer, a programmer, and you've been trying to think about how you can bring this to YouTube, this person's doing such a good job. I watched a little bit of this first video. It's so good. The editing. Sorry, what were we going to say? So
sorry, AIA. We're not giving you any advice. We're just using you as a template for other channels.
I have some advice. I do have a little bit of advice. But I just want to watch the first 10 seconds of the latest video.
All right then. So this is adding flights to my dream video game.
I'm making an RPG game called.
So just a cool little entertaining thing to kick us off, yeah?
Yes. They added flight to their favorite game. It did not go well. Now, the reason I wanted to watch that was, could you go back to the video page now? you'll notice they're doing a lot with shorts. Let's check out the latest short.
This one, right?
Yeah, so the Unity tips. So Unity's a programming.
Check marks in Unity, create a new material, make it transparent, and assign a PNG bullet texture. In the hierarchy, create a plane and assign your material. Drag the plane into the project window to turn it into a prefab. Add a public game object to your shooting script called bullet hole. In your raycast shoot function,
So
add
we
this
can,
code,
I think we
or
get the point, right?
have one.
Yep.
So we're literally teaching a programming concept, which is, it got a lot of views and stuff. But again, I just wanted to explain like how people are finding shorts, you know? This is like a very searchable thing that you've shown, and it's highly edited, and maybe you have a long form version of this video somewhere and I just don't know about it. But people, when they find shorts, they're usually just presented to them while they're scrolling through a whole bunch of shorts. So if you have no interest in game development, like you're swiping off that really quick. Even if you have interest in game development, you also have to have interest in adding bullet holes to your game at that time, right? So in my opinion, not the best content for shorts.
Ooh,
it did get some decent views, but the video after it, the regular video, did way better. So what I was going to suggest is that the intro you used for your latest video would make a fantastic short. Even if you did dive into some game development description afterwards, it's like, I added flight to my dream game. It did not go well. And then you show the crash and the pixels all jumbling around. And that's just eye-catching and funny and kind of satisfying to watch. And then you could give maybe the reason it didn't go so well in a quick, like 10-second explainer. Like, it turned out I had this broken line of code, subscribe for more, you know? So I just think, because I'm just a believer in shorts should be like satisfying and entertaining. Highly educational, informative shorts are just tough. They're a tough sell.
The game object that contains the rigid body of the object.
So it looked like educational stuff as well. I guess what I was going to counter with here, but Dan, I think you may have defended yourself quite well there, is that with game development content, there's usually quite a significant gap between each video that they make. It could be, I think in this case, it was like a good 2-month gap between the two long form pieces of content. So we tried to supplement that with shorts.
Yes.
But so I guess what you're saying is that they shouldn't necessarily supplement it. There's maybe nothing wrong with using shorts in between the longer pieces of content, but the viewer intent on shorts is very different. They're probably, it's difficult to search and find the shorts content, so it should be far more satisfying and entertaining in that sense. Okay.
Because shorts are not like a search first kind of platform. That's just how I feel about it. And it's YouTube, the way they've built it into the platform, it just makes sense that search is not going to dominate. You can get search traffic on your shorts. I'm not saying you can't. It's just dominant shorts are going to be the ones that are just visually satisfying the second you start watching them. And I think your editing wise tells me you're very capable of making that happen. But I think I would just be approaching it from a different perspective.
Let's just try the first 10 seconds of this one as well.
I think something's wrong here.
That's
so good.
Always start your game development videos with some horrendous glitch.
Yes. And so for game development channels out there, I just wanted to point out that, like, to you, what frustrating, if this is frustrating to you, if you're a game developer and you're like, I would hate it if that happened while I was coding my game, imagine what it looks like to someone like us who has no idea, right? Like, we know it's not supposed to look like that, and we think it's funny. So really try and bring that entertainment value. I think game development, like that process, the behind the scenes, like how the sausage is made, can be highly entertaining. This is one of several channels now I'm finding that do stuff with game development and have these types of edits, and it's really engaging to watch. And this is just coming from the perspective of a gaming fan, not someone who's a developer at heart in any way at all.
Something I'm intrigued here. Dan, I've done a bit of video about this, and it's coming out soon. The audience, I've forgotten what this tool's called now, but like the audience moments. It's not necessarily audience retention. It's where people are replaying bits, and they've managed to successfully have a bit that's replayed at the very end of a video. I'm curious as to what that is. We'd have to watch the entire video to find out. But also what made me chuckle was we have a good peek here, and I just see Ralph from The Simpsons. Oh dear, that's a good one. That's
I like
a good
it.
One. Yeah,
well played, sir.
This person is like a storyteller first, a game developer second on their YouTube channel, which is brilliant. So AIA, I'm not sure how much advice we've given you there, but congratulations. You've had 2 breakout videos, which is fantastic. And we wish you the very best of luck going forward with your channel. All right, then, Jeff, let's bring you back into play with Count Refus. I don't know how to pronounce that channel name. I thought for sure that this was a video game racing channel when I first looked at the thumbnails, but apparently I'm wrong. I'm fascinated by this channel.
Yeah, same. So first things first with Count Trefus. That name, dude, like it really kind of throws me off. Like, I don't know if that's a family name or what's going on, but being that you're an automotive channel, I may try to, I don't know, get something that sounds maybe a little more about what the channel's about. But that aside, one of the things I wanted to say was they're approaching, 900 subs. They're going to get there. They're going to get to that 1K pretty soon. Yeah. Not a ton of videos, but the videos are very well done. I first thought, okay, this is too good to be true. It's probably a robot voice. I checked out the latest video. It's not. Yeah. There's an actual human being narrating these videos, and it's good stuff. So it's like B-roll voiceover, essentially. But one of the things that I really liked about the view counts look good. Sub counts obviously climbing up. They're hitting a niche that's very, very strong. One of the things that I was thinking of, and they did take a break, but it looks like they're back, because I was going to talk about consistency, but they took some time off, and now they're looks like they're getting back into it. Maybe about 1 a week ish from the looks of it. One of the things I would be looking at if I was them, thumbnails look good, titles look good for me personally. I'd be looking at channels like Donut Media, something like that, because they're putting out a lot of these single one-off car videos, right? And Donut Media has done that. They do that. They have like their bumper to bumper series and Up to Speed and stuff like that. But you can also take some of your videos and start making sort of compilations around them. So you've already got the footage, you've already talked about it. Why not start working on some of that listicle type of content that can help start taking your channel a little bit further? So instead of having these one-off about this car, and then next one, a one-off about this car, you kind of already building up that catalog. Well, why don't you tell me which were the top 3 cars in the 90s? What were the top 3 hypercars? Whatever it might be, you can sort it by year, you could do it by decade, you could do it by whether they're American or Japanese or European. So there's so many different options that you can play with in this niche. I think they just need to kind of maybe start branching out a little bit, but you're still in automotive. You're still going to be talking about the kind of cars you want to talk about, but where you can start doing a little bit more within that content. I think that might be a good way to go. But what do you guys think? I
just think the thumbnails are fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and as you say, Jeff, you do sort of worry that all of the effort has been put into the thumbnails, but it really isn't. You click on it, and like within the first 10 seconds,
Jaguar today is not a brand often seen in motorsport.
It's a faceless channel, but a faceless channel done right. It's a original voiceover, scripts, lots of B-roll. These probably take a very long time to source all of the content and then put them into videos that are basically 6 to 8 minutes, generally speaking.
Yep.
Which is really, really encouraging as well. Because obviously they're taking like an original image and then they're applying their own almost cartoonish template over it with the really thick black strokes. But it still seems to retain its detail. And, the text, you were talking as well earlier, Jeff, like if you don't know what text to use, font, just start with white, because white usually works on most backgrounds. But they are added in a little bit more text. And the consistency between each one is fantastic as well. And they're just using one powerful word: unsung, genius, fastest, legend.
That's the same thing I've been trying to do. Just a really simplify thumbnail with one word. Like, what's one word I could use to describe this? And that's part of like my new workflow that I'm trying to do for myself, is instead of trying to think, okay, 3 words or less, 4 words or less, what's one word that I can use to describe this, or to describe my whole feeling about a product? And that seems to be working quite well.
Small thing I may consider doing is removing the profile image, because it seems to have no context to cars. And you've already got a unique thumbnail. Like every time you post one of these videos, your audience is instinctively going to know it's from you as a channel. So I don't think you need a channel name either. Dan, anything else to really add here that you can think of?
You guys definitely covered it. I think one of the things that would help a lot is just simply more content, which they're already doing. I would say about a video a week just right now is their cadence. Just going off of the point you just made, that icon is already in the bottom corner of all your videos. YouTube puts it there for you. You know, just under your video is your channel icon in a lot of places on the site. So yeah, I would take that out because it's just one more detail to pull away focus from the actual focus of the thumbnail, which should always be the car.
Yep. 100% agree with that, man. And I mean, I like where it's going. I think much like myself, I think the only thing holding me back right now from moving forward is my upload volume. Right. So that's the whole reason why I'm reinvesting in the channel, is to give myself that push from 80K to 100,000. And I just need to do what I need to do to speed up workflow, because I know I can do it. I know I can deliver value and good content. I just need to start getting that volume up.
It does take that kind of analysis to really takes that like stepping back from your channel to kind of determine, you know, what would help me a lot is being able to swap cameras during live streams. Like now you're live editing. Now when your live stream is over, you're not having to sit down and cut it so it's engaging. You have 3 cameras that you can swap between, and that saves you a ton of time on the back end. So that's unique to your channel. But I think a lot of channels that are struggling with output could find ways. For me, it was live streaming and then setting up a replay buffer so that I could grab clips while I'm live, and I could think to myself as I'm saying something like, that's kind of funny, and I just hit a button. The clip is waiting for me, and later I could take all these clips and edit them into something. So now I'm just doing 1 or 2 live streams in the week, and then I have a whole bunch of content to play with for the rest of the week. So try and find ways, if you're struggling to figure out how could I upload more, try and find some ways to play around with your workflow. And then also the last thing I was going to say is the type of cars you're covering. You have videos that break out more than others. I was kind of wondering, I hadn't had a chance to look. I was kind of wondering if that was because of the brand, like the actual type of car.
I'm not sure. It all seems to be because, you know, I was thinking about this as well, Dan, and usually we would tell a creator in a space such as cars and automotive to focus on one brand, one particular model of a brand. But I think this creator has already been able to dispel that myth. I think the strength of his content, it seems to be that this channel is educational, historical coverage of muscle cars, not muscle cars, but like fast supercars from the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. I think that's roughly where the
more obscure exotics, I would say.
There you go. All right,
But I agree with you. It's very interesting. It's an interesting take because they're niched into that, but in and of itself, they're not niched into a single brand, and that gives them a lot of wiggle room. So they can go after multiple fandoms or people like myself, right? The reason when I stumbled on this channel and I just started binge watching it was because I'm into cars and I'm into multiple. I like the history of cars. It's one of the reasons why I like the Gran Turismo game so much, is they give you a lot of history around the cars that you're getting and stuff like that. So I'm an ideal viewer for them. If anything, another thing I would like to see from them would be, even if they did Versus series on their channel, because that's one way. Who have we seen that does that exceptionally well? Company Man, exceptionally well. He has a video about Pepsi. He's also going to have a video about Coca-Cola. He's got a video about Nike. He's also going to have a video about Reebok. He's got a video about Pizza Hut. He's going to have a video about Domino's. And it's all about getting suggested. So if you can have something along those lines where you know 2 cars, Lamborghini and Ferrari, right? You know 2 cars that are going to be against each other, Ford versus Ferrari, stuff like that, where you can even do that as a versus, but you also have the separate videos. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to help out here with the content, but I think
what you're talking about here, Jeff, is like these traditional formats that tend to work really well. I think we've already established this creator is very talented at what they do, and even if it's not necessarily something that they want to do long term, like they don't want like the idea of like top 10 listicles or versus ones, it might be like a necessary evil as one of your flagship pieces of content that has a broader appeal to an audience. To watch that, they really enjoy it. Then to see one of these suggested down the right hand side and think, oh, watch one of them as well. Wow, this is actually really good as well, even though it's not a versus video or a top 10 video. This creator is just really talented and I want to watch more of them stuff. It's kind of like those gateway videos. You don't necessarily want to create it for your own creativity, but in terms of audience building, it's like almost a shortcut given the talent of this creator.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Because I know for myself, top 5 videos on my channel are probably the most difficult and time-consuming videos to make. But I know what they do for my channel.
Yeah.
And that's what I consider a necessary evil that I have to do, biannually or quarterly.
I have 2 more thoughts on this channel. I've seen that pretty much every video is from source material. Like this is all essentially copyrighted content from somewhere. We know that there's a voiceover here, and we know that there's a lot of educational value. I guess what I am a little bit worried about is that if this channel got really successful, maybe there's going to be a question of reuse, questionability, or copyright. I don't know. It's just something to think about. And maybe the creator may want to think about at some point, maybe as an experiment, being in front of camera. That might be something to consider. And also, all of this content here, my assumption is that you're going to have these 15-second, 20-second nuggets of just random interesting facts from these cars that you may want to consider converting into shorts. But what I would say is that you would experiment with that on a second shorts channel, because I think the consistency in the format here, you've nailed it down already, but you have so much really valuable content there may be repurposing opportunities for you.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope that people in the chat are listening, because even if you think that you could learn more by us auditing your channel in particular, the stuff that we're giving you here when we talk about other channels, you can apply to yourselves, because I can guarantee you that if we happen to pop onto your channel, you're not doing half the stuff that we're talking about, or half the stuff that this creator is doing correctly. So I really suggest you guys are listening, paying attention, and taking notes. Even if it's not your channel up there, apply this stuff to yourself. This is what I did. I spent probably the better part of a year submitting my channel in the forum, trying to get audited. But in that year of watching every single stream, I learned so much that in the end, that's what I got more value from. So hopefully people in the chat listen.
Let's do something a little bit different. So what we do every week is we ask you, the live stream audience, before the live stream kicks off, a question which we fancy tackling. And as always, I've got a very exceptional question. And this one comes from Hike, Walk, Paddle near Boston. And their question is, what is the best methods for converting viewers to subscribers? And we like to just discuss this kind of question amongst ourselves as creators and see what answers and opinions we come up with. So I'm going to start the clock, and then Dan's going to open with his opinion. Then we'll throw it to Jeff, and then I'll try and create some conflict with some questions. So this is a question. Dan, time to start answering. Pressure's on.
Do I have the 5 seconds, or do I? Oh, okay, I have 3 minutes. So if you want to convert viewers to subscribers, you need first some consistent content. And by that, I mean, not only do you need content in general consistently going on your channel, but you also need content that would consistently bring you the same audience, which is why you want to make your content for an audience, not for any audience, if that makes sense. That's my first bit of advice.
And what about you, Jeff? Agree, disagree? What are your thoughts?
No. I mean, I agree with what Dan is saying here too. And one of the things that I will also say, and this one is obviously going to be controversial for a lot of people, and that is a closed mouth doesn't get fed. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I always recommend people do a call to action, but do it in a way that actually makes sense to the viewer, because you've already delivered value. So don't do the old usual that you see on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Like, don't do that. Make sure you're giving them a reason why and doing it after you've delivered value. But I'll tell you this, when I don't say anything, when I don't do a call to action for people to, subscribe or like or whatever it is, I see a noticeable drop in that happening in that video. And then when I do say it, I see the noticeable bump of it actually happening. So I always recommend saying, using a call to action, but, doing it correctly.
So Jeff advocates the call to action to ask people to subscribe. Dan, we just abandoned that on the channel. Why did we do that?
It's, once you hit 1 million subscribers, you don't really.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. Let me ask you this question. Is it harder to convert viewers into subscribers for particular types of creators?
I would say so. I think it really depends. If you're I'm going to help you fix your toilet kind of creator, then yeah. Like, you might have individually each video doing very well, but they're doing well in search. They're solving a problem, and then people aren't really inclined to subscribe because you fix their problem. Why do they want to hear from you every week? So channels like that may struggle.
Jeff, what do you think about subscribers for certain channels? Is it a case of some channels shouldn't bother and they should use a call to action for something more effective?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the best bet is to really do a little bit of research into your niche and whether or not it's more of the utility channel, more evergreen type of content that's not so personality based. So people aren't really showing up for you time and time again. They're getting that chunk info they need and they're leaving. Then at that point, I'd be looking at using a call to action for something else, whether it's to convert on a website, whether it's get people to sign up for email newsletter, whatever it might be. But the subscriber might not be the focus for that type of channel. And this varies for every kind of niche.
Oh, Jeff, you left me with 9 seconds. I can't ask a question and you don't have time to answer.
The end.
Yay! Sorry, that sounds very loud. I do apologize. All right, so there's a question. And obviously, we would probably talk about that in even more detail and the value of it. If you were a member of vidIQ Max, our new group coaching phenomenon. Jeff, how many people have we got in vidIQ Max now? It's just grown at a rapid pace, isn't it? Are we over 200?
We're as far as I know, we're well over 200 on our way to 300. So yeah, it's been great, man. It's been great so far. A lot of good learning happening in there. We've had some incredible sessions. We get guests on. We even have Rob and Dan come in and do sessions with us. So it's been amazing. Private Discord community, questions being answered all day. There's us helping you. There's other experienced creators helping you as well. So yeah, there's so much happening in there, and it's been great, man. We've been doing it. I think this week we either going to be 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So we've been going, man.
And to add a little bit more in terms of what people get if they join vidIQ Max, every 2 Thursdays every month at the moment,
right?
You, Alexi, or Travis do a guided presentation session followed by Q&A. So essentially, if you went to a conference, you'd be going to all of these sessions, and you do 2 every month. And I think we've got like 16 of them now, which are all available. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's now 16. So it's essentially, if you signed up for vidIQ Max, it's like signing up for a conference, but you get to watch these sessions whenever you want.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have the Discord channel, quite an exclusive one, but like it's all business, it's all YouTube growth talk.
Yep.
And we're now getting to the stage where not only are you, Alexi and Travis, giving valuable advice, but creators themselves are becoming almost like mini coaches of themselves. I know Journey, who we did a video audit on them last Wednesday. She's helping out every creator in there, isn't she? Like, with awesome advice.
Yeah, no, she's been excellent. And in addition to this, I mean, in addition to the group coaching aspect of it, you also get full access to our entire vidIQ Boost tool package.
Correct.
So you get not only the whole vidIQ tool set, but you also get access to myself, Alexi, and Travis, along with a private community of people who are serious about growing their channels. And, we're getting peer-to-peer feedback. It's been excellent so far. Like, it's even on a personal note for myself as one of the coaches, it's actually reignited my own creativity, seeing how many people come in and the energy that they're bringing into the group. It motivates me to become better. So it's been a win-win all around so far.
Now, I asked a question here in a poll an hour ago. We've had 1,800 votes on it, which is incredible. And I asked the question, do you understand copyright on YouTube? 73% said yes, which I don't believe for a second.
No.
Considering how many questions we get about copyright, you're all lying. And if you are lying, then what you probably need to do is sign up to vidIQ Max, because what happened last Thursday, Jeff?
So last Thursday, we were honored to have Ian Corzine, one of the premier YouTube lawyers. He came in and spoke about fair use, copyright, and a lot of the ins and outs and nuance involved with that on YouTube. So it gave us a great breakdown, excellent information. And I loved having him on because even though I know that I don't know everything about it, it was a learning session for everyone involved. So it was really good. And that's, that's the kind of value that we're bringing to vidIQ Max.
You know, if we were doing like another live stream, like copyright audits, I'd love to have maybe Ian take a look at this channel, because like I'm a little concerned about how it's all just sourced material. I'd be fascinated to know what his opinion would be on it. And I'm sure he gave us, the vidIQ Max members, a lot of valuable information there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So vidIQ Max, we know we're talking about it a lot at the moment, but it's because it's providing massive value already to a lot of creators. And whenever we can, we try and add a lot of extra bonuses beyond what's promised. So like, as Jeff said, Dan and I have gone in and had some random conversations. I did an Ask Me Anything just randomly once. We try and also just squeeze in a couple of creators from vidIQ Max and prioritize them for either channel audits or what we're going to do tomorrow, which we're going to tell you a little bit about very soon. But yeah, there's a lot of benefits to vidIQ Max, and it costs less than $2 extra per day to have all of that extra coaching available to you. We have a link that's in the description to take you to the pricing page, and we've also got it on the ticker as well. And I promise you, I'm holding I don't know who I'm holding to account, but by this time next week, we'll have a landing page that you can visit and get a little bit more information about vidIQ Max.
For sure.
So thank you. Yeah. So go ahead, Jeff.
Oh no, I was gonna say, at this point, like Travis said it best, you would have to not want to grow on YouTube, to not be taking advantage of the value that we're offering in that group.
I'm sure that's a slogan. If you don't want to grow on YouTube, don't get vidIQ Max.
Basically.
Thank you for allowing us to indulge ourselves. We offer vidIQ Max as an extra service on top of everything we already do. So the videos that you see in the vidIQ channel, these free live streams, these are 4 hours worth of, I guess, free coaching they get on the live streams. They're not going anywhere. But if you've got some monetization, you're working towards your next major milestone, and you want a little more personalized advice, encouragement, mindset, then vidIQ Max is the place to go. With all of that being said, I think it's time for this. Got everything timed up perfectly there. Thank you, Jeff. So what we do for the next just under an hour is we have our random claw, and we now go into the forms where 500 people have submitted on this form and 450 people have submitted on the gaming form. Wow, that's a lot of people. We have to adjust our claw to make sure that we pick every single channel. And then, Jeff, if you please.
The claw.
We pick a number, we take that number into the form, and we type it into this form. We get the channel URL, which hopefully you've put in correctly. And then on first impressions, we've never encountered this channel before. We're going to see what we can help you with for Master Sonic 2022. Now, the first question I have to ask myself is, this is the non-gaming submission form. You've told us you are not a gaming channel, and yet I see nothing but Sonic the Hedgehog. Is this a meme channel?
It's a liar channel.
Is it?
I can't tell. Is it cartoons or is it games?
I don't think it is the game. I think we'll give him a pass.
Oh, he might have just squeezed through.
Yeah, I think just. Okay, first pieces of advice then. Should we bother premiering content when the channel doesn't have that many subscribers? I tried premiering a big video that we did, I think last week, and I was underwhelmed by its performance. So I'm still not an advocate of premieres, but I must confess I haven't used them enough. But I don't think, unless you've got something amazing to show an audience that's anticipating something, so you've already built up a community, I can't see the point of premiering something because I don't know who this channel is. I'm not really that excited about waiting 9 days until this video is premiered.
Your premiere should definitely be like hours before the thing, not days.
24 hours at most, I would say.
It really
max.
shouldn't be. I would also, in my own personal take on premieres, is I would save them for something big that people are anticipating, right? Like if you're just premiering every video, it's not really special. But you know, save them for something a little bit bigger, and then be there for the actual premiere for sure.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I did. And I mean, and I know Rob remembers, I was doing a lot of experimentation around premieres. I was premiering probably, I think, for 2 months, every single video, just to see kind of what was happening. Was I going to get a boost in initial view velocity, things of that nature? And then I moved on to testing it on videos where I would do a little bit of pre-promo. Like I would hype, like I'd post early snapshots of it in the community tab and say, hey, I got this review coming up. Ask me your questions, and kind of, you know, making sure that they got involved in that sense. And then 12 hours prior, I went ahead and posted the premiere to let it happen. And this last time when I did it on a Sony video, it actually popped off really well. Ended up pulling in close to 100 and some odd people in the live chat, in the concurrent viewers during it being premiered. So it went pretty well, but I'm not going to do it for every single video. I just want it to be for videos that I know deserve the hype and are going into it with some planning.
So I don't know if this is a gaming channel or not, but when I saw the name of the channel and what they're doing, I immediately thought of 100% Zelda. And I feel like that's the playbook this person should be following, that of 100% Zelda. If you're going to make your channel 100% about a thing, especially like a character from a video game, then you would want to follow the example of someone who's been doing that and doing it very, very well. So if you haven't seen their channel before, I'd highly recommend checking it out.
I would caution on that one, Dan, because I think 100% Zelda is very much about the education of playing the game, and I guess 100%ing a Zelda game. Whereas this, I think, is more about the fan and culture behind Sonic. You know, voice reels, ideas. I saw like what looks to be a trailer for something. So I'm in disagreement with you there.
That's fair. I think what I'm struggling with mostly is because I'm not seeing the clear focus other than Sonic. It's just, it seems like Sonic is the only thing that they've dedicated themselves to, and everything else is like, okay, after Sonic, I can just do whatever I want. So you saw the list in the about section of all the different things they would like to do. So maybe they're doing some commentary over, you know, different Sonic games and scenes and things like that. However, in the case of 100% Zelda, at least when you go to the channel, it's clear that it's Zelda education. You get in there and it's going to help you solve a problem in Zelda. There's tips and tricks and things like that. So I guess what I would say is that, yes, while you're correct, like maybe that are not the perfect example, what I would like to see from this channel is a clear indication of what I'm going to get if I subscribe. Because right now it's just like Sonic something.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It is Sonic something.
Yeah.
Having said that, subscriber counts, view counts, they appear to be in sync and quite healthy, actually, with some of their videos getting over 1,000 views, which is encouraging. I mean, I get an obvious question I may ask is, like, didn't the new Sonic movie come out recently? And surely with
definitely
around
a
the
trailer.
I think one came out in like the last 6 months, from what I remember.
Yeah, some Sonic something happened, and it's not represented here on the channel. That's for sure.
Yeah. So there was a potential tie-in, and is there still going to be an interesting Sonic 6 months down the line? And I'm worried there may be a waning interest in the audience. And right now, your output tends to be 2 or 3 videos a month. Given us length of them, is there opportunities to create more content? I don't know, because it's not just game playing. You're definitely doing some work in the editing and the design of them, which may take a long time. All right, that is Master Sonic. I think I think even though that wasn't a gaming channel, it had a lot of game influences and elements. So I'm going to do another non-gaming channel and then move on to a gaming channel fully. And we're going to look at David T. Guitar next.
And while you pull it up, I'm just going to quickly mention that tomorrow, starting at the same time this live stream started, we're going to be doing video reviews. So similar to what we're doing now, we're actually going to click on your videos. We're going to check out the intros. We're going to give you some advice on how you can get people to stick around after they click on your videos. So don't miss tomorrow's live stream. You can submit your channels similarly to how you do in this live stream, and it'll be great.
Yep. Yeah, the video review streams are great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're still figuring out how to do them a bit, like, because we're not sure that in a year's time we can watch the first 30 seconds of somebody's video and still have stuff to talk about. But it's an interesting, maybe we'll say, right, we're going to jump a minute in, and then we're going to start watching it from there. It's like, is this? Can we understand what the video is about, even though we're a minute in? Maybe we'll do some more experimentation. But we're certainly getting good response to it, and gauging UV audiences. Our most important goal on the live streams. Now we're going to try and get David T Guitar involved in his channel audit, approaching 50 subscribers. I'm seeing mostly shorts. So Dan, we were talking earlier about the discoverability of education, how-to content on shorts is still debatable. Is that the right place to put those videos? And looking at the view counts from the shorts so far, it looks as if the shorts discovery engine isn't really interested in the type of shots that they're making yet.
I'm looking in particular at those guitar tip videos, and I'm kind of like, why do I see a person's face? Like, if you're going to do guitar tips, show me the guitar tips. Don't tell me the guitar tips, is my opinion there.
So in order to do that, because you can't choose the thumbnail, what you might have to do is either not be on camera at all, or have yourself like what that green screen effect, like you can do on TikTok or whatever, where you have an image of a guitar in the background to at least ensure that you have a thumbnail. But again,
well, it's not the thumbnail. It was an assumption I made because there's a few videos with their face exclusively. Yeah. I immediately made the assumption, wow, they must be on camera for a lot of these videos. So that's why I mean, it was a very bold assumption, to your credit, but my concern was correct. There was no guitar in the short.
Something interesting here is that, I was looking at these thumbnails thinking, these thumbnails are a bit meh. Some of them have this red text on a thumbnail, these odd backgrounds. And then I came across this particular thumbnail style with several guitars on sofas, and these videos are performing really well. And,
I like those too.
I'm not saying that you remake these videos, but perhaps this thumbnail style is something that you could try and replicate with different topics. Because those are the outstanding ones as I scroll through what looks to be a somewhat chaotic video tab page. I know Shorts always makes that more difficult, but if I look at this thumbnail and this thumbnail and this thumbnail, they all look as if they're from completely different creators. So there's a lack of consistency there. Jeff, I'm going to throw it over to you if you have any observations that we haven't spotted.
No, you guys have pretty much nailed it. I mean, the consistency across, sort of the branding there would help for sure. That's always a big thing. And I don't mean like you have to brand it where you put in your face on every single one, or you're putting, your channel logo and everything in one, but it's sort of the vibe of it. If you're going to use text, try to use the same fonts, the same colors, the same style. Try to use the same camera if you can. If you're just using your phone like I do, try to use the same phone every time so that they have the same look to them. But that's one of the things where I'd be looking at it right off top.
I think the creator needs to determine a value proposition as well, just from looking through the content where it looks as if they're doing occasional covers. Sometimes they're maybe reviewing guitars. Sometimes they're thinking of musical ideas with guitars. And then that's kind of reflected here with music guitars, guitar ideas. And then the classic, I haven't decided what my channel is, so I'm just going to put other related stuff.
Yeah, I finally updated my banner to reflect the value proposition. Finally, after 3 years, I finally did it, Rob.
So what I always look at in the description is, and I'm not saying that the description is super important, but if somebody's written out a description, then they've probably really thought about who their target audience is. And just as importantly, what's in it for the viewer. And if your description doesn't include you at all, and it includes I, it feels as if you're communicating to the viewer why I'm doing all this stuff and why I'm interested in it, not necessarily why you as a viewer are going to becoming engaged with this content and find it valuable. Target audience, what's in it for the viewer? I feel as if the creator needs to just have a bit of a shift in mindset in terms of who they're creating for rather than what they want to create themselves.
It is really a mindset thing too with that about section. It's not so much we're saying the about section is going to impact you in some way.
Yeah.
You know, it is really like if you can answer that question for your audience, you know, that's really a mindset thing. Sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, it's fine. The only thing I was going to say is just to reiterate on that is, you know, when you're doing YouTube, coming from a place of a mindset of like service, right? So you're putting the viewer first. What am I going to give you first?
Yeah.
And not only having that reflect in your about section, but have that approach from the inception of every single video, right? Is how can I deliver on value first? What is Rob, you know, or sorry, what are Rob and Dan doing on the vidIQ channel? They're delivering value first before they ask you for anything. It's all free. The videos are free, the live streams are free. So think of it in that sense. What am I doing for the viewer? So even like myself, psychologically, when I wrote out my own about section, I started it with who it's for. What is this channel going to bring to you before I even said anything about myself? So I want to make sure that even at a psychological level, they understand I'm putting the viewer first before anything else.
That was true, Jeff, until we got one of these. And then, as Dan rightly pointed out, we don't care anymore, if we're quite honest about things.
The way it's positioned kind of says you don't care.
Yeah. You literally don't care.
It's just shoved in there.
2 questions, and these are very simple, very fundamental questions that we would ask a creator. Who should be watching and why? Try and answer those 2 questions in your head and then shape your entire channel around those answers. Because right now, I don't think you've thought about as far as your answer this far go. Your answer at this point is, I like guitars. If I make videos about guitars, then somebody's probably going to enjoy watching on YouTube. And it has to be more refined than that. That's the vibe I get just from what you've created so far. I just want to check how long they've been doing this as well. Yeah, so after, 50 plus videos, I'm still seeing a lack of audience and channel focus. And I think it's now time to decide what you're going to do. Because, you know, just looking at one of the videos, which one was it? I think I looked at this one. It looks like your actual production quality and the editing doesn't look too bad. You know, you are editing and doing B-roll and stuff. So probably the content's not too bad. But I still question who is this for? The enthusiast, the beginner, somebody who doesn't want to play guitar, but they just like listening to guitar music. What's the target audience? All right, let's pick a gaming channel. Finally, 224. It's going to be the first gaming channel. Be a random section. I'm not going to be able to pronounce this channel name because they've decided that they want to use numbers as letters. So
Chris McLowell?
Oh, there you go. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, you know how to read these channel names better than I do.
So another Minecraft channel. I think all the gaming channels today just about have been
So far. Yeah. Probably very depressing for other gaming channels, but we're saying, look, use this Minecraft channel as a template for your gaming channel.
Right.
Definitely going to work.
Maybe not this one. And I only say that because, again, I'm not seeing that strong like focus other than Minecraft. And there's so earlier we talked about a channel that niched down too much, right? They were covering Ark, but they kind of went on this binge of videos where it was Ark, but like from the perspective of hacking the game, like physically, like a hacker hacking the game. And those videos weren't performing as well. And I said, maybe you've kind of niched down too much. Ark and hacking Ark mobile, like that's just like too much. But Minecraft, it's okay to niche down quite a bit because super, super competitive space. And the more you niche down in Minecraft, the more unique your content becomes and has that chance of standing out, the greater chance of standing out. So we see some shorts that have taken off for you. About 1K views is the best one. And it's Minecraft. I
saw that. Sorry to interrupt, Dan. I saw that as a title from the other Minecraft creator, like Minecraft version number logic seems to be quite a popular theme.
Yeah, Minecraft 1.17 logic. So you're kind of pointing out something in the game that's like kind of weird, like, oh, this is the logic of Minecraft. So stuff like that does do well. I've seen blank logic it does. See, yeah. Why is that? Why does wheat have so much power over all these different?
You can drop really heavy objects on wheat and it's indestructible.
Right, and objects that fall should not be breaking on a little piddly pile of wheat.
Yeah.
So that was high value. That was interesting stuff people could replicate on their own when they're playing the game. These long form videos, my nostalgic, my new but old house. So like the Minecraft nostalgia, my new old house, like it's a wooden box in the sky. So we know that building channels can do incredible things just in their thumbnails alone. So you're competing with like some of the best building channels. Anyone can make what's in the thumbnail right now. Like it's just a wooden box. So what about it? Like maybe just cringing at my old Minecraft build or destroying my old Minecraft build, something, go to your old Minecraft build that, you were once really proud of and maybe now you're not. I'm kind of making up a story for you and then make that the title in the thumbnail, make that the pitch of the video and take people on like a journey, but we see videos like this all the time where it's like something I built in Minecraft.
And this thumbnail doesn't need any text on it, does it either? You want this building to fill almost the whole thumbnail to create that sense of scale and epicness.
Yeah. So maybe the box is incredible inside, but there's nothing indicating that either. And I'm just trying to make some points here as to what would get me to click on that video. And that's what it's going to take. You really got to sit down and think about, who is this video for? Why would someone click on this video when there's so many thousands of videos of people building wooden boxes in Minecraft? What makes mine special? What makes mine different?
All right, so that was Chris McLaul. This channel is going to be an animated shroom history channel, apparently. I don't know what shroom is.
Mushrooms.
But in terms of animation, that's what I was getting confused with. Right. Anyone want to hazard a guess about what this channel's about?
I'm quite lost. How about you, Dan?
Something about psychedelics. I'm seeing, because a lot of mushrooms and thumbnails, and then why the CIA secretly funded psychedelics. So I feel like their niche is psychedelic mushrooms.
In animated form, as they did state.
Interesting. Yeah, it seems like that's what's happening here. The timeline of... Wow.
Right, okay, so let's do a quick search for this.
It's like history, but animated, sort of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some traffic on this topic, from what I can see. So it's not super niched. Perhaps the delivery of it is somewhat niched.
Well, we got names here that no one's ever heard of. And so I'm kind of wondering, well, what did these people do? Like, what were they advocates for this? Were they proponents of it? Like, that's missing from these titles and these thumbnails. You know what I mean? Like, why should I care about who this person is?
Just looking through the video very quickly. I mean, if this is custom animation that you've put together, it must take a lot of work to do this.
Yeah.
Let's just
Maria was a devout Christian, and it's written that her Virgils were so popular.
So doing a voiceover, presumably to this animation that they've put together.
Yeah, so a lot of work going into these videos.
Yeah.
So it's a title and thumbnail issue for me. This might be a topic a lot of people are interested in, but you got to start a little more basic. Like, again, if you're just going to use people's names, like the firing of Timothy Leary and Richard Alpert, what does that mean? Like them getting fired from whatever they were fired from, what did that mean for your industry, for your interest, for, go start with that. Like, bring people in the door with a more interesting tidbit and reveal the names of these people in the video.
So I think the word here is accessibility.
Yes.
There's a level of knowledge of people that we just don't know anything about, so we can't attach any interest to it. So we need to, like, these people got fired. I guess we have to almost like dehumanize the person and say like something along the lines of this person got fired for some extreme reason, something to do with psychedelics. I can't think of a title off the top of my head, but it's probably more the extraordinary event that's going to be more appealing to the viewer as opposed to the particular person, because we're not familiar with any of these people, or at least 95% of the audience probably isn't going to be familiar with this audience. Like CIA Mole Speaks, James Moore, Gordon Watson. I don't know who either of those people are, and I don't know what they're talking about. So that's a simple reason why I wouldn't click. So do you think we're going in the right direction here? That these videos just need to be opened up a lot more in terms of their pitch?
CIA Mole Speaks, it doesn't even mention mushrooms in the thumbnail or the title. I'm assuming it is because the channel seems to be about just that. But, you know, the CIA outlawed mushrooms.
In their never-ending search for the miracle weapon, CIA operatives searched here in the remote mountain areas of southern Mexico for what up to then had been considered a myth, magic mushrooms.
Okay, so everybody's heard of magic mushrooms.
Right.
How can you plant that seed of interest in the thumbnail and the title?
I'd be asking that about every single video. Assume that the audience you're targeting knows about magic mushrooms in that they exist, and that's it. Like, start
nothing
there.
beyond that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Start there every single time and go. Like, think to yourself, does anyone care who Timothy Leary is? I certainly do, but does my audience? You know, well, I need to. This video is about teaching them who he is, so no, probably not. So really think about the user that you're trying to target with these individual videos. You know, start at the most basic level.
Jeff, just correct us quickly if you think we're going in the wrong direction with this. But we're basically saying we're idiot viewers who know very little about this topic other than it's drugs and magic mushrooms. Let's start there with the pitch.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's one of the things where it's creating a high barrier of entry for an average viewer, right? So basically it's depending on the views now as it sits are depending on people either one, having an interest in mushrooms, or two, already having a higher knowledge base about it. So that really narrows down your audience potential. So if anything, I would agree with Dan and Rob in finding ways to bring in a more general viewer, whether that means you have to dumb it down a little bit, so be it. Or how does this relate to things that are more mainstream, right? How can we relate this to something that's going to be more popular? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, and here's the thing for me, immediately when I think magic mushrooms, I'm thinking of, you know, Mario shooting fireballs. You know what I mean? That's that's just me though. I grew up with Nintendo. So that's, you know, when I think of mushrooms, I don't think about psilocybin and the medical effects and things of that nature. I'm thinking of Mario going from being short to being tall. So
I brought up this comment real quick because I'm not saying that nobody knows who Timothy Leary is. I don't. All I know is magic mushrooms. That's it. And in order to understand who Timothy Leary is, you'd have to understand what psychedelics are. So psychedelics trump Timothy Leary. So that's all I'm trying to get at, is that you're going to find people like us who don't know who these people are, and yet we might be interested in the subject matter. So you want to start at the most basic level, even if you feel like that's a popular enough name, people should know they're basically a celebrity. I mean, in that regard, they are, but are they known to more widely than that?
Yeah.
And if you have to even think about it, start more simple.
Yeah, I've heard the name Tim Leary, but am I familiar with who it is? Is he related to Dennis Leary? I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing, right? So yeah, even though you might think it, the rest of people might not be familiar.
If the name just rings a bell to the viewer, that might not be enough for them to click on it. You know, you have to give them a little more. There's not even a mushroom in the thumbnail, so it doesn't. You're not making that connection, and that's what. Don't let your audience think. Like, this goes beyond this channel. Like, don't let your viewers think. about what your video is about. Title, thumbnail need to be so simple that people get the point right away, right when they see it. And if you have to think for a second, who's Timothy Leary again? You're already gone. You're already going to scroll right past it. You're already looking for something else to watch.
I look at this thumbnail and I see Harvard University, shrooms, students. All right, okay. Tease what happens when you combine these three things, as opposed to forcing me to click on the video to find out, like, did they all go absolutely crazy and become celebrity lawyers, or did they all decide to become monks and leave university and never speak again for 20 years? Give me a tease the result of this to again make it more accessible. This is a tricky one to audit, because I think the three of us just have no knowledge at all of this topic. So we are approaching it as viewers who need more of an incentive to click on the thumbnails and the titles, and we can't necessarily see that just because they're quite impenetrable to begin with. Mm-hmm. And it looks as if to date, in the 2 months that so you've made all of this content in 2 months as well. Have you been able to create all of these videos and edit, narrate, and animate them in 2 months? That's pretty incredible output.
Yeah.
But so far, it's not been discovered. I'm just wondering if this has been seen elsewhere before appearing on YouTube. All somewhat unanswered questions. We hope that was somehow helpful. Next channel is 358 on the gaming side of things.
So for those who are new to the live stream, welcome. Seeing a lot of people in chat asking some pretty pertinent questions. We don't get to look at every single channel, but we have the two forums down below, one for gaming, one for not. And in the second hour, we always go into these random selections. And that's what we're doing right now. We are randomly selecting some channels, and the one we just pulled was J Thrill. They have 56 subscribers, and it looks like they are a Roblox channel. They're playing Mario Kart Mobile, or sometimes they're playing Call of Duty ranked mobile matches.
Sometimes, depends how I feel.
Yeah. So now we're going to kind of dissect this channel for a minute. And I think this is some Minecraft. I think it is the classic case of, hey, starting a gaming YouTube channel sounds kind of fun. I'll try that for a bit. So I do encourage you to do what you're doing, which is make a bunch of videos about a whole bunch of things you like. And not only do you get to see what might take off over other things, you might get to figure out what you like the most. And once you figure out what you like the most, then it's a matter of doubling down on that and going all in. So, for example, if the playing Bee Swarm Simulator in Roblox, 26 views, let's just say out of your long form content, that's like the most popular video ever. But then the next thing you uploaded was beating Geometry Dash World. Mm-hmm. If people had subscribed for that Roblox video and you didn't deliver on it again, they're not going to watch the Geometry Dash video. In fact, they might not even know it's from the same creator because of the title, the thumbnail, and the subject. So that's kind of the very, very, very common thing we see with a lot of gaming channels. The first thing you need to figure out is, what audience do I want to target? And if your answer is, I want to target people who like video games, then you're not thinking deep enough. Start with a game. Start in one space. What is it about what you're doing that is unique, and who would it appeal to?
What I find interesting, Dan, is that a lot of these titles are very much file names.
Yes.
Like Roblox Clone Tycoon 2 Part 2. Play Mario Kart Mobile. But then when you get to the most popular ones, which are all shorts, there's very much an audience intrigue, curiosity style title and structure that's being used. Yeah. And so definitely I would recommend you do more of that.
Look how each of those shorts have a point to them. Minecraft villagers waking up in sync. If I click on that, I know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be a spectacle.
Oh, we hope it is.
We hope it is. It sounds like it's going to be a spectacle. It's starting off too long. If we're about to jump into video reviews, this is where you want to be in this room already. And then they all woke up in sync. That's so with shorts, people will swipe away really fast. So that's just some general advice for you from shorts. But look at the title of your short and think, like, okay, how can I make a simplistic title like this for my next video? Because me playing Roblox Part 2 is not a title. That's not anything. That's people play Roblox all the time. What are you doing in Roblox that's like worth watching? You uploaded this really long video to YouTube, an hour long. What the heck happens in this video that, you know, what's my reason for having to watch?
My guess is for a lot of these longer videos are like 30 minutes or more. So they're not, they're like the pre-recorded live streams almost, where they played something they've not really thought about how we're going to pitch it or title it. And then they've got to a point where I'm just going to put it on YouTube and see what happens. But the one thing I'm going to do for this video is put on an intro. Yay. For the first 5 seconds of this hour-long video, we're going to do an intro and a call to action.
Yeah.
Usually we wouldn't recommend.
No, definitely not needed. If people are already skeptical about clicking on your content, that's almost an invitation to have them just walk away, because it's distracting, it's loud, it's obnoxious, it's self-serving. I'm becoming so hostile towards those intros. It's so hard not to be, though, because I can't think of any successful creators who are opening their videos like that.
Why have you given me a URL like that? I'm suspicious.
Yeah, I wouldn't click that.
I unfortunately I can't click on a link that doesn't include youtube.com in it. So we'll have to. Next one.
That link was out to steal your Bitcoins.
Not that they're worth anything these days.
Yeah, there was a reaction channel that I spoke with a while back when we were doing a different type of program, and they were probably around 125,000 subscribers ish, and they still were using this branded intro that took up the first like 30 seconds ish.
30 seconds
of every video, yeah. And so one thing that immediately I said, yeah, you got to get rid of this, and they were like, why? And I was like, well, they were screen sharing, so let's look at your analytics. They were losing 60% of their potential viewers every video, and I said, do me a favor before we talk again in 2 weeks, remove your intros for the next, they would do about 6 videos a week. And I said, remove them from all your next videos. Do me that favor. Don't do them. Just get straight into the video and let's see what happens. And retention graphs were off the charts.
Hey.
So, and they were just like, wow, like it's that simple. But it's just one of those things where they were losing because people saw that, and it took so long to get through it that they were leaving. You would just see this huge dip. It was just, as soon as you see the retention graph, boom. And then it would level out after it. But they'd already lost 60% of the viewers.
Do you know? Apparently, I didn't know this until I was. I saw it in a comment somewhere. YouTube used to actually have a feature called branded intros, where you actually placed it in the video. I think.
This sounds familiar.
Yeah. Huh. I was kind of thinking now. Yeah, I sure saw a screenshot of it, and I thought, huh.
They've definitely buried it by now. If that's the case.
Yeah, maybe they have. And maybe this was in a dream I had. Who knows?
It sounds really familiar. Back when we were trying to do seasons and stuff of shows.
Yeah, we could have a playlist with the S1 episode 1, and everybody wanted it, thinking it was going to like really boost their views. But still, bring back annotations. I would ask for that. Nitro O. I'm seeing thumbnails that are very sneaker based. So is this a channel all about the buying, reselling, flipping of valuable sneakers?
If it is, they got to do a little bit of thumbnail research for sure. Yeah. Because their head conceptually is in the right place. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get a picture of the shoes. Their head is in the right place, but they really got to do some thumbnail research, because some of there's a couple channels that I work with personally, but where they weren't using any text on the thumbnails. They were just getting right in close on the shoe, and it was just perfect. Like, and they were literally doing just shoe reviews, sneakers, basketball shoes, running shoes, whatever it might be, similar to this, like, where was it? Kind of like that, but they were even closer and really punched in on the one shoe. Like, some people are showing both feet, but yeah, it was just one of those things where you could see it, and like, sort of like, okay, go back up. You just kind of skip past one of them that looked just like it. Right there, that infrared Jordan 4, like that, like the thumbnails just boom. And they were doing this with a phone. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to have a DSLR to do this. You don't even have to have text, because you can let the title speak for itself.
I was going to say, Jeff, your thumbnails are what I would be looking at. Your style of thumbnails, what I'd be looking at for this kind of like channel.
Oh, yeah. It's
like,
product.
The product is the hero.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I would be looking at. Is I'd be looking at what other people are doing, but for sure, like, yeah, it's on your feet, cool. But like these shots, these straight down shots. So you're looking at the top down of the shoe. You're doing yourself a disservice. The packaging for the video is hurting you. So, you know, and then even the last one where it says trading Salehi Bembury X, the Connect clothing store, that huge thing. And then you got shoes, tiny little corner of the thumbnail. No. If we're doing anything about shoes, if you're trading them in whatever it might be, if it's going to be a versus, have one shoe and the other shoe. And it needs to be big in the thumbnail. Sort of like what they've done here in some of the other thumbnails. AJI High versus AJI Zoom. The only thing they need to work on is their lighting because they got a huge shadow in their thumbnail. But yeah, I mean, they have it in their mind right. They just have to really execute on it.
Most of the titles, I would say, aren't particularly exciting either. They're quite descriptive as opposed to...
they're pure SEO titling.
I wanted to ask you, Rob, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but maybe we could take that New Balance 550 title and stick it in Title Generator just to see what pops out.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we're going to test one of our tools here. Right, here we go. So yes, welcome to our Title Generator tool. Let's test it on a vidIQ Max promo thing that we're working on at the moment. And it's going to be called New Balance 550. What we're hoping here is that...
Hey, that's me.
You start the title, and then you click this button, and here we go.
Well, there you go. That's a much better title to begin with, isn't it? Yeah.
Number 4.
There's that one there. New technology in running shoes. Let's refresh it, see if we get anything better. The best New Balance 550 sneakers reviewed. The ultimate hybrid running sneaker.
Nice. What to know before you buy is excellent. So that was the other suggestion on the page. The ultimate hybrid running sneaker. Cool. If you feel that way, awesome. But man, these are some excellent suggestions. And I'm not just saying that because I do use them.
In gaming, should you buy is a good one. Should you buy blank? So the reason I wanted to do that exercise real quick was to, one, show you the tools because we're very, very much like that. We do like that tool quite a bit. But two, it's like, what about them? And we've been saying that a lot today. What about blank has been coming out of my mouth in particular a lot today. So I just wanted to show a really quick example. If you're having that trouble with whatever content you're doing, we have the title generator tool now. You should definitely, if you have vidIQ installed, try it out. But it gives you, because the title generator understands, what about New Balance 550? Well, here's some suggestions.
And of course, if you are new to vidIQ, we have a link in the description that will give you a free month's trial. And considering you created, I'd say about 20 videos in the last month, you could use that title generator on all of those videos just to see if it's going to give you more intriguing titles. Having said all that we said, we criticize the thumbnails a little bit, we criticize the titles. 90 subscribers, view counts are at subscriber size or above, which means that YouTube is trying to find new audiences, which is fantastic. And I think, Jeff, you said this, like, they've got the idea right, but the execution is really letting them down at the moment. So if you had thumbnails that were 10x what they are now, which is probably relatively easy to do with a bit of research and some study, and titles 10x they are now, just imagine the extra reach that you're going to get with these videos.
Yeah, 100%, man.
All right, then. So I think what we're going to do, because we've now reached view like inception, whereby we have more likes than views. That means that some people, you cretins, have abandoned this live stream. I'm calling them cretins because they're not here anymore. But those of you who are still here, I think we should give you another chance to get picked randomly for this live stream channel audit. So we're going to reset everything now, and we're going to decide on some channels to pick, and we're going to use our trusty giveaway tool thing. So what should people write in the chats?
Hashtag tomorrow, because this is what we're going to be using for tomorrow's live stream.
All right, so not all of that. We'll just do hashtag tomorrow.
No, do the whole thing.
And shout out to StreamYard for the giveaway tool.
Yes.
Hashtag not sponsored.
That's right.
Hashtag tomorrow.
So we're going to let these entries roll in, and this is exactly how it's going to work tomorrow. I'm just going to interrupt you because I want to plug my live stream again. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll be reviewing your videos. We're going to go into your content and talk about some of your intros. We're going to talk about maybe your outros as well, and we're going to be using a tool like this, different hashtag, but we'll be using this tool to randomly select. The way it works is you post it once, one time only, hashtag tomorrow, and you're in the drawing. You can't post multiple times, or you can post multiple times, but it only takes the one. So that's how that works. And
it is spam proof.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the thumbnail that I created for tomorrow's live stream.
Oh, I'm posting it right now. I just hit the button.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
So
right,
you can get notified about that tomorrow.
Hashtag tomorrow. We have 252 entries already. So let's draw the first person. Will get a free channel audit. Unfortunately, it's none of them. It is Easy Goes Gaming.
Easty
Goes Gaming.
Yeah, Easty.
Hang on.
That's not the right.
What? Look, wait a second.
That's Easy Going Gaming. So okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's odd. Right. Let's have a look at this channel.
Welcome to Easty.
Welcome to YouTube, first of all. At least over the last 4 weeks, you have started doing some wrestling live streams, it looks like here.
So these are all the videos.
That is your lot, yeah.
Okay.
5 videos so far.
Nice.
All right. So you've been playing a WWE game, it looks like, and you've the face cam. We have like not a promo, but a
teaser.
A teaser.
You know what I'm saying?
Hang on, is this Viper? That's same enthusiasm as Viper.
A lot of good energy. Yeah, I like that. So we have another titling kind of conundrum here, like the greatest wrestler of all time, but then the thumbnail isn't selling that. Like, there's so many faces there. Like, pick one and pick somebody who's controversial. Pick someone who no one would ever say that about them and put them in the thumbnail. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
right.
Really play with those title and thumbnail combinations.
Yeah, like the Red Rooster. That's a wrestling shirt.
How about Jimmy Superfly?
Let's not go down there. Whoa. What's going on?
That's the reaction I want from the viewer.
Yeah.
That's Rob's reaction right there is what will make people click on that video. Greatest wrestler of all time. Put the worst wrestler of all time.
That's
right.
That's one rung below the worst wrestler, which you should never talk about in any of our sentences.
And you got to only slightly blur their face too. You know?
Yes. And it really helps if their character appeared in the video too. Fine, yeah. But that's kind of the point I'm trying to make. Tournament finale, greatest of all time decided. People like this assumption that people have been kind of following this whole series through. That's not going to really work for such a new channel. You got to make it a little more maybe searchable or just have a different kind of hook there. It can be the tournament finale, but try to approach it from just a different angle. You know, and we've given a lot of really good examples today throughout the live stream. But that's kind of what's missing here is the titles and thumbnails have to have this intrigue that's kind of missing right now. The energy is there. It looks like the editing is there. Now it's just the packaging for the video.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to stumble on the tournament final and then be like, oh, crap, I got to watch these 3 other 16 and 13-minute videos so that I could be up to date on what's happening. But I'm hoping that in this final that he would have given us a quick recap, like, all right, so here's what happened in the last, the whole tournament, and here's where we are, whatever it might be. But hey, they're getting started. They've 4 videos in, and after a long break, so I get it. But I'm liking the consistency that we're seeing so far, and just keep going, keep moving it forward.
Wrestling is a very competitive space on YouTube, and there's a lot of good channels out there, and I think maybe a decision has to be made in terms of the communication format, because it looks like you're trying to tell us who's the greatest wrestler of all time through a video game. So is that like a tournament that you're letting the NPC wrestlers fight against each other, and that will determine who's the greatest of all time? Or are you controlling one of them? And at the moment, just in a really big competitive space, it's going to take a good number of videos to establish where your strengths lie with your audience. Because you know, the channel banner doesn't really match the wrestling theme that's going on right now. You know, maybe it doesn't need to just yet. I'd be interested to know where this channel is in like 3 to 6 months' time. Having been able to stay consistent with this wrestling gaming theme and how they're pitching the videos to the audience.
I also don't love the font in the latest thumbnail. That doesn't look like the word final is all I want to say.
Yeah,
just because the letters are kind of crammed together in a way that's very unfortunate.
I see what you mean, Dan. I've only just noticed that. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes, it's you got to be a little careful with that.
Is it kerning? Is that the word?
Hey, how we end up in the claw?
What are you doing? I thought we were using the tomorrow thing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You used the drums for the other thing. I
do apologize.
Went to the claw.
Channel 45 now on the list is losing their mind.
They don't know.
They're one of the cretins who left. All right. Titus Major is the next channel. This is another guitar channel, I suspect, from the channel banner, from the profile image. That's one. Okay. All right. So first of all, I'm blown away by the thumbnails. These are fantastic.
Obi-Wan Kenobi theme. So we're doing trending topics. Very, very new channel that's already doing all the right things.
Nice. Titus Major. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yep.
I'm liking what I'm seeing, my guy.
You don't need us. If you can get these kind of views on your first videos, you should be up here.
Excellent.
Yeah, all right, Dan.
And look at the topics are going after too. You know.
Titus Major, can you please come up onto the stage and help us do channel audits?
If I had like a fake sunglasses mustache thing, I could just pretend to be them.
So they've tried to tie in their talent with popular culture that's going on in these Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, Jurassic Park theme, all of that good stuff. And now are they trying to create some content that's not necessarily, I don't know if these are covers because I'm terrible.
I don't know either.
Knowledge of music. I don't know if Steven Sanchez is an artist, or I assume he is.
They're doing better than the Obi-Wan stuff.
Yeah. Now I probably need to talk over this just to make sure that we don't get copyright struck, because Dan, again, on the last week's Wednesday live stream, we got hit with a copyright claim just for some random bit on a YouTube short that we had to clip out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Production values and quality is off the scale here.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very,
very good.
Yeah. This person went to school first, and then they started making content. This is what we see with creators when we ask them and they're like, oh yeah, this is like my third channel.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or they've really studied the game. But overall, man, I'm really liking it. Like the thumbnails are on point. Topic wise, they're on point to gain traction by leveraging trending topics in pop culture right now, like Obi-Wan, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, stuff like that. So I would 100% keep going with this, man. I mean, even this last one is doing quite well, but I don't see why not. I would actually continue leaning into that. Like, what's the latest? The latest stuff out right now is what Miss Marvel, I think, is the latest one. So stuff like that. It's you continue to use it if you're already open to it, and you can add your own twist to it. Then please, by all means, like I said, I worked with a drum channel who did just that. They weren't doing the TV show stuff, but they were doing trending music, and it took them to the next level.
Nice. So there's something visually satisfying as well about this. It's not just the music.
Yeah.
It's really beautifully shot, actually. Very nice.
Yeah, it's above average. Like the camera work is better than the stuff I can do. So so I'm quite enjoying it. So yeah, I'm gonna check out the channel on my own. I'm gonna take a look and see what's up, because this is looking really good, man. I love seeing channels that are at this level, because I feel like if they can keep this going, that they'll be major in like 6 months, a year from now, 2 years from now, if they can continue going on this trajectory and stay consistent. That's really what it's going to be, is consistency, because the quality is there. Now it's just about gaining traction on the platform.
Mm-hmm. I assume this content takes a little bit of planning in that they can't just say, right, today I'm going to go and shoot this and play this. I'm wondering, because the question I want to ask is, this video seems to be the breakout one to a certain extent. It's got more views than anything else in 2 days. If I was a fan of this music, like, what is the track that people would likely listen to next, whether it be from Steven Sanchez or a similar artist? And I would, as soon as possible, be making that video and putting it as your end screen call to action to get them to watch something next. But I just don't know what time, in terms of production, I don't know how quickly you can turn that around.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that is a good way to close it out, man.
Jeff's done.
We're on a high note, man. We don't. This is closing out on a high note. Titus came through and blessed us with some excellent content.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you as always for joining us. I think it's been another very successful channel audit live stream. The numbers are fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found it valuable, even if we weren't able to audit your channel. Because I'm going to be honest right now, we're oversubscribed. We have almost 1,100 channel submissions, and we have 2 hours. We try our best. We've audited thousands of channels in the past, so you can go through all of our back catalog. If you want to know how to start a travel channel, if you want to know how to start a tech channel, if you want to know how to start a dank meme channel, well, maybe not one of them because I always struggle with them, but we have audited thousands of channels on live streams, so do check out our back catalog. But most importantly, Dan, we're going to be doing this pretty much all over again tomorrow, but just looking at videos instead of channels.
Yep, we're going to be looking at your videos, hopefully your videos. A lot of you submitted today, didn't get in. We're going to be using that same hashtag tool that we used for the drawing just now, and we won't tell you what the hashtag is until you get in there. So you'll have to just be there to find out how to get your channel and your videos checked out. If you want to carry on this sort of conversation right now, then vidIQ Max is the place for you to go to. We've got a link in the description. Do make sure to sign up if you are able to do so. And I think it's just time to say goodbye to a couple of people, including Bobbert Rob. It's been fun as always. Uber Relaxed, thank you as well. Dazzy is asking what time. So this is same time as what the live stream was today, but tomorrow. So look at your clock, subtract 2 hours, be there tomorrow at that time. I don't understand what this means at all, but bye to you, TF Brits.
vidIQ Max member.
Lil Branches Crossing, have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks for all you do. We appreciate you turning up. And thank you so much, vidIQ Rocks.
Hey.
Jeff, pleasure as always.
Absolutely.
Dan, I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm now just trying to... I got snubbed real hard to find the right button. And I'm going to leave you with this teaser. Right now, go to your Android device or your iOS device, go to the Play Store or the iOS Store and search for vidIQ for TikTok. Oop! I released something interesting, amazing. Check it out.